And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Insight on Business, the News Hour. My name is Michael Libby, the host of the program, and this is being powered by our advertising agency, Insight Advertising, Marketing, and Communications. A quick program note for you. We are transitioning. What? Yes, we're transitioning. We are going to continue Insight on Business, the News Hour, here at Webcast One Live, and we're honored to be able to do so because we'd like to look at things in a global perspective on this show. But recently, we made the decision to also bring to the Des Moines Metro, if you happen to be in the Des Moines Metro, a news program that centers on economic development. And so next Monday, we'll launch Insight on Business, the News Hour at 1350 KRNT. That's an old line AM radio station here in Des Moines. It's been around since 1935. It was originally part of the Register and Tribune, hence the call letters KRNT, our Register and Tribune. And so we are looking forward to 5 days a week from 5 o'clock in the evening until 6 o'clock in the evening, talking about local economic development news, celebrating businesses large and small, from Main Street to the large corporations that dot Central Iowa, talking about what economic development and how that impacts each and every one of us. Join us starting next Monday, 1350 KRNT at 5 o'clock each and every. You can listen to us while you're driving home from work, perhaps. C&L Companies is a business that is headquartered in, of all places, Urbandale, Iowa, home to about 43,000 people. And recently, Jason White is our guest from the Warren County Economic Development Authority. Recently, they've decided to expand to Warren County. Now, this is an international business, isn't it?
Well, it sure is. They have a lot of relationships all over the globe with almost every continent. And certainly Taiwan has been a big avenue for them, but as they have a plant in Italy, they have relationships with Spain, and they also have some certainly domestic companies and some companies throughout North America that they do business with as well.
Well, Curtis Brown is quite an interesting fellow, and we've had some conversations with him as well. Why did he decide to move to Warren County?
Well,
not move, but to locate a new warehouse, I believe it is.
Well, the growth in C&L Companies' efforts, and basically, just to give a little background in terms of what they do, they are a manufacturer of aftermarket parts for ATVs and motorcycles. And specifically, they're associated with brands such as Yamaha and OSA, just to name a couple. And their growth in Urbandale necessitated them to, their need to build a warehouse and distribution and testing facility. Well, it just turned out a few years ago, they bought a motocross track from a gentleman in rural Warren County. Not a place where you typically would have an industrial park, but given the nature of this business, they both built a house, they cleaned up the track, they've had a few races, which I've attended, and they've very well put together. But they've also in the process of breaking ground this month on a new 25,000 square foot warehouse and distribution and testing facility. So this will be a good proving and testing grounds for the product that they make in Urbandale, and it'll be a good win-win. You talk about regional development, regional wins. Urbandale and Warren County, it's a great project for both sides.
Ryan, whenever you wish, throw up another photograph because we're going to be here. What are we doing here, Jason?
Well, one of the things that we did is we were setting the foundation for our new revamped organization here, is that we opened on the Indianola Square. Previously, we had a good location, but one of the things that's very important to our organization and to its investors is that we connect with the activity centers of our county. And, the old-time squares,
they were the hub of activity.
They're a hub of activity all over Iowa. And we believe very strongly in maintaining the vitality of the Indianola Square. I think it's the only square in Warren County, but certainly we have some bustling downtowns as well. But we decided to open up a nice office on the Indianola Square, and there was our ribbon cutting right there.
Very nice. Well, it is those kinds of things that breathe life into a town. Indianola is also known for Simpson College, which is a wonderful school, and it's also going to be the site of the Harkin Steak Fry. In a couple of weeks, I think it is. And,
I think Senator Harkin has held that event there for quite a few years.
30-some years, I think it is. And it's and Vice President Joe Biden, by the way, is one of the featured speakers. We've already scheduled an interview.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, so that should be kind of fun. Tell us about other expansion issues that are going on in Warren County.
We have been trying, one of the things that Warren County does not have a lot of, and that is manufacturers. It's been, for whatever reason over the years, we've had a huge commuter pool that has traveled to Des Moines and West Des Moines for work. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we don't have a lot of large industrial employers in Warren County. So what we've tried to do is tried to help those employers add value to what they do. For example, by partnering with startup companies that are innovating new products. They don't have the capital for establishing their own multi-million-dollar manufacturing facility. So as an example of that, or an extension of that, Cementech out of Indianola, which is a worldwide manufacturer of cement mixers, volumetric cement mixers. And over the years, they're a 40-year company in Indianola. They had some challenges through the housing crisis a few years ago when the building boom came to a sudden halt. So one of the things that we were able to do, and they've been able to do, is partner with a company called Energy Independence Partners. It's a startup firm headquartered in, at this point, Johnston, moving their operations into Indianola. And what they've done is they are a company that focuses on wastewater solutions of all things.
Which is how critical.
It's so critical, especially to smaller communities, because the state and federal entities are looking at ways that they can improve clean water.
Absolutely. Well, it's a big story.
It's a big
here
story.
in Iowa, where the EPA commissioner came to Iowa to meet with several individuals regarding Iowa's lack of being able to meet the clean water standards.
Absolutely, and certainly it's a goal for many, but at the same time, every action has a consequence.
Absolutely.
And in this case, our small communities under the population of 1,000 people are struggling to meet those requirements. And so Energy Independence Partners has brought a German-based technology, which has been proven in Europe, to North America, where they're producing these wastewater containers, designing these wastewater containers to be produced at Cementech. And Cementech has taken on several different new products, something from Vermeer that they're currently working on in third world countries for building houses. And they're working on another product too. We had an international delegation in a couple weeks ago looking at a new product. So Cementech and other manufacturers in Warren County are looking at to innovate from a manufacturing perspective and diversify as a way to compete in the global marketplace.
I think that's, it's fascinating how small businesses, can partner with other larger businesses and then meet a demand that the public is calling for. And especially, Iowa is a rural state. I mean, how many communities do we have down there? I mean, it comes to mind, of course, one of my favorite rural communities happens to be Cumming on the Great Western Trail. And for lots of different reasons, it's a fun place to go on Tuesday nights, but on your bicycle. But a community like that, 357 people in that community, there's no way that their wastewater treatment facilities can match what they have to. It's going to be very difficult.
That's absolutely right. And this is a pretty economical product, and, it pulls in the, not to get too technical on the wastewater side, because I'm not a techie on the wastewater side. I'm an economic developer. But basically, it pulls in the sludge, purifies it to the point where it can be put back out into a lagoon without having to expand the lagoon. So, like you said, thinking locally to address global issues.
Our guest is Jason White. I'm sorry, I was tweeting while Jason was talking. I can't do two things at one time, Jason.
I've seen you on Twitter, and I've been on Twitter myself, so it's a nice tool for communication.
It is a wonderful tool. One of the things I think that is really interesting is the Warren County Economic Development Corporation, and this is not political, but it is political. there's been lots of talk here in Iowa about millions and millions and millions of dollars going to already successful businesses, luring them to the state, from fertilizer plants in Egypt to Facebook in western Iowa. You guys have set aside some funds to help small businesses. I think you probably realize that small business actually is the economic driver of our society. Tell us about this.
We know our organization works with small businesses, medium and large, but one of the things that we know is that, and we're never going to pass up an opportunity to work with a large business.
Of course not.
If we have an opportunity, we're going to seize that opportunity. Yet we know that small businesses someday become big businesses, and we want to be able to incubate and hatch those types of organizations and businesses in Warren County. But to do that, we're going to be able to compete with other communities. And in this case, our organization set aside $100,000 as a seed fund to establish a revolving loan fund for small business growth. Now, how is this used? Well, if you go to a bank and you ask the bank for $100,000, and they say, well, we're comfortable, we could probably do $100,000, be more comfortable with 80. Our organization could come in and say, okay, we'll fill that gap with the other 20,000. So in essence, we're enhancing the opportunity for deal flow, both to local lenders and for businesses, so that we can start and expand more small businesses in Warren County. And this has been a big need for Warren County for a long time. We have board members that have been talking about this for years, if not decades. Mm-hmm. And Warren County is now finally getting to the point where we're now taking some of those resources, setting them aside, and making it available for our small businesses.
Jason White, ladies and gentlemen, our guest from the Warren County Economic Development Corporation, talking about what's going on just south of the Des Moines Metro when it comes to economic development issues. When we come back, we're going to be talking about a little town that's come up on my radar. I just mentioned it, but there's a company there, and Phil Bob was a guest of ours not very long ago from the Iowa Distilling Company. And this thing has cropped out of nowhere in Cumming, Iowa, on the Great Western Trail. We're going to talk about that trail system and how it works economic development-wise, and why people are suddenly flocking to old buildings that happen to be along trail systems in and around the metro. That and more with Jason White when we come back. This is Insight on Business, the News Hour. Back with more right after this.